Who has the worst fanbase? Not Star Wars. I can assure you that Star Wars has the best fanbase around. Cheers. Peter Mayhew. Serial killers. Not talking about those with the morbid fascination, that is understandable. I am talking about the ones that send fan mail to serial killers and want to marry them. Those are some fucked up people to do that. Edit, a bit unclear to some. I was referring to when they are caught and in prison and people start sending them mail. Sorry about that. Insane clown posse. When I see footage of their gatherings, I involuntarily imagine the smell. It's a mixture of alcohol, gas fumes, cheap weed, sweaty fat guy ass and porto-johns, hot piss and shit. Fucking Honeywell. I had a 4-foot-tall Honeywell fan once and that piece of shit was falling over all the time. Steven Universe. Bullying an artist who drew something they disagreed with until the artist attempted suicide takes the cake in my book, especially ironic because central themes of the show are accepting others, overcoming prejudices, and how everyone has redeeming traits. All of them are the worst. Olicity from the show Arrow. I've never seen any community as toxic as the Olicity fan base, and I've been to enough gaming forums and seen too many nerds arguing over the most irrelevant bits of detail, but I've never seen fan base like the Olicity fan base who are so twisted that they'll attack things that are completely unrelated to the things that they love. They'll try to cyberbully some actress and even families of actors they love because they think they don't deserve him. They'll attack comic book writers because they don't include their favorite TV character in the comic book. Look at any Twitter thread that consists of Olicity fans will instantly give you cancer. Worst part is the writers of the show Arrow actually believe these people represent their whole fan base and letting them collectively change how the show works. Leafy's hear thousands of preteens saying things like the cancer is real or cringing into oblivion and blindly bullying every person Leafy mentions in one of his videos like that autistic guy. By far it's Sonic the Hedgehog. I'd how or why Sonic has developed this bizarre cult following of people who think Sonic is super cool and super powerful. They come up with all this sexual and violent fan art, even going as far as hogging themselves. Search any name the Hedgehog and see for yourself. It's so shitty. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold aka Columbiners. It's one thing to have a morbid fascination with Columbine and to read about it. It's another to be an edgy teenager/young adult supporting Eric and Dylan or agreeing with them in any way. Edit, the same people tend to admire mass shooters in general, too. Mostly school shooters have the most popularity among these people and it's a really scary subculture in general. Edit 2, please don't bully or send mean messages to the people involved with this crap. I know it's morbid and it's weird, but sending hate to anyone won't solve anything. You could make matters worse rather than better by going into a mob mentality. There's no good reason to do that, guys. Supernatural, Doctor Who, and Sherlock. The combined fanbase is called Super Wholock, and good grief, many of those fans are completely nuts. I used to like Supernatural, when it was monster hunting and not angels, demons, and angst. Rick and Morty, I love the show but I can't go 5 seconds without hearing a reference to it here on Reddit. It's always the same references too and they are such predictable posts. The worst is when people make usernames that are just a one-time cheap joke from the show. Edit, the worst part is that I actually agree that the R&M circle jerk is a bit tired at this point, but now you fuckers have given me all this comment karma, I guess I'm stuck with this username now. Dan Tonfire and Amazing Phil. I like Dan and Phil themselves, but Jesus H. Christ, you can't go anywhere on YouTube without seeing stuff like OMFG imagine Dan singing this to Phil him crafting so hard RN or some other fetishizing gay sex is yay sex crap. They'd be irritating if they kept to themselves, but it pisses me off immensely seeing their shit plastered all over serious videos on other channels. YouTube career boos are the same. If I see one more army XDD comment, I'm gonna kill someone. I don't know why I still read the comments anymore. Edit, thanks, everyone, for the alien tube recommendations. Just downloaded it, smile. One Direction. I'm convinced they have split and this hiatus is just damage control and a gentle deflation rather than a loud bang and implosion. Lessons have been learned from Take That in 1996. I find it incredibly creepy how involved their fans make themselves in the 1D members' personal lives. My brother is a huge fan and he's constantly insisting Harry and Louis are dating because one time Louis wore a jersey that said 16 on the back and Harry was 16 when they met, or some equally inane reason. If they are dating, well, that's okay. But for the love of God, stop doing this. Stop shipping real people, it's skeevy. Edit, yes, my brother is actually gay. You are all so funny and original. Beyonce. The Bayhive can be vicious. I don't like Beyonce. Lol, why y'all hate black people too? Bernie Sanders. I like him as a politician and I voted for him, but my god, some of the hardcore followers are just as bad as the rabid Trumpists. League of Legends. Ohio State found the Michigan fan. As a Dallas Cowboys fan, I can honestly say that most Cowboys fans are terrible. How many Cowboys fans does it take to change a light bulb? None, they just talk about how great the old one was. I guess I'll go meta and say Reddit. It probably always was a shithole, but I didn't notice until the last few years. Pick one. Upvote it, edgelord rebellious person. Downvote it, fanboy normie. Steven Universe. Don't get me wrong, SU is an amazing show, but the Tumblr fandom is just fucking stupid. Reminds me of the story when 4chan trolled the shit out of some Tumblrinas by making an account that drew SU characters whitewashed and had the account bombarded with hate mail. Eventually they got a black guy to put on a wig to take pictures. Using said pictures they made it seem that the account creator was a transgender black person. The amount of backpedaling that followed was enough to put the bike in reverse. Drama alert. Toxic fanbase run by a toxic person. Super Who Lock. All three shows are great, but the fanbase is too much for me. Edit, for clarification, those shows are Supernatural, Doctor Who, and Sherlock. Any politician. It's terrible that some people are fans of politicians and think they can do no wrong. They seem to get very defensive when you point out a flaw, and that's just no fun. I went to a Hatsune Miku show recently. That fanbase was pretty bad. It was all white guys aged 14 to 60 in skin-tight cosplay suits, and 6-year-old girls who like the cartoon and don't know that all the songs are about sex in Japanese. Edit, defending myself against bitter fanboys for an hour this morning proves how bad you all are. Please, for the love of God, leave me alone. The Patriots. I'm a Bills fan. I'm man enough to admit that Brady will likely go down in history as the greatest of all time. Gronk is a beast. I get it. There's no shame in recognizing talent. But the number of Patriots fans I've met who just seem to like rubbing salt in the wounds of the rest of the NFL. It's staggering. It's like half of the Patriots fanbase is only there to talk unwarranted shit to everyone else. When Brady retires and the Patriots go back to sucking, these dudes will be gone, having moved on to whoever else the dominant team is. It's a bummer to see the fanbase actively tainting their team's legacy more so than it already is. Go Bills. Tool. I love their music, but good god, a majority of their fans are front page contenders for /r/I am very smart. Competitive Smash Bros. Players can get pretty bad with the whole Melee vs Smash 4-bit. Myself. The club is practically empty. I'm shocked that I hadn't run into this answer yet, minions. Definitely /r/Bitcoin. I blew all my life savings on volatile virtual currency. When do I go to the moon? See, that's your problem right there. You invested in Bitcoin and not Doge. My Little Pony. Of all the real life bronies and Pega sisters I've met, They're usually pretty cool people. But then again, I did meet them in normal everyday situations. For the most part, I guess. Undertale has a really weird section of its fandom that legitimately freaks me out. It's so unnecessarily sexual and uwagensflaked. Every fandom has that. South Park fans. Particularly those who get their political, philosophical, and ethical ideas from solely South Park. Arch Linux users, ultimate neckbeards. Did Twitch installs Arch Linux ever succeed? The Lakers. Every other answer is wrong. I've never seen such unabashed homerism in my entire life. They think every big free agent is dying to sign there and every other franchise is dying to trade off their star player for whatever garbage the Lakers deem fit to throw away. Bro, Kevin Durant is going to sign with us because we're going to trade Nick Young and Smush Parker's old shoes for Paul George, and then we are going to trade our second round pick for LeBron, and then Magic Johnson is going to cure HIV and AIDS, but he will be so good at it he will be 28 again because science in Showtime will be back and we will win the championship next year and every other year that ever exists. PC gaming. Obviously not all, not even most, but you can't visit a single console-based thread without seeing someone complaining about something religiously. Edit, downvotes prove my point, guys. Philadelphia sports fans. At this point it's a tie between the three presidential nominees. Their fan bases, not the voters who support them but their fan bases, have become vitriolic and violent against voters who don't support their candidate. Hopsin. I swear 80% of his fans, or at least all of the vocal ones, think he's the best rapper to touch the earth, that all rap today sucks, and that he is the only one that talks about something other than sex, money, and drugs. The Seattle freaking Mariners. They are my one true love in life, but next to no one gives them the time of day. Granted, they haven't made the playoffs in 15 years, but the Seahawks get so much hype that at least a little of that love could be taken next door. Being a Mariners fan isn't that bad. It's like having a huge crush on a girl and you ask her out and she says no. Being a Rangers fan is like having a huge crush on a girl and you ask her out and she says no, but then you don't give up. And you try for years and years to win her love until finally she confesses that she's been in love with you this whole time, and you ask her to marry you, and she says yes, and as she's walking down the aisle at the wedding, she fucking bolts, and you never see her again, and I'm so triggered I don't even know where I'm going with this metaphor, but fuck David Freeze. As a huge Fish and Grateful Dead fan, I'm surprised to not see either of these bands near the top. People give me shit about it all the time. That's because people who listen to that music are generally chill as fuck and not terrible at all. Generally. Worst they can be is annoying talking about Ultimate Frisbee and where to buy mushrooms all the time. Deadpool, it gets really tiring hearing 10 to 14-year-old kids running around yelling chimichangas. Anytime you mention DP. Don't even get me started on their reasons for why he's so cool. They know too many ways to say he can break the fourth wall. So many synonyms. So many. Golden State Warriors bandwagoners. Black metal has one of the worst fan bases in music and overall the worst metal fan bases. You listen to a band I don't like? Well, fuck you, fucking false. Is basically the black metal attitude. Some people over on /r/metal literally said that Nazism and National Socialism wasn't the same thing, so they could listen to Nazi BM while being on their high horse and not listen to Nazi music according to themselves. Like, why do you care so much? The thing about black metal is do what you want to do and don't care what other people think. Don't get me wrong, I fucking adore black metal, but the scene is just so shit. Football, soccer, fans can be pretty bad. As you are watching a sport you think that makes it acceptable to sing about a plane crash or people dying in a crowd rush because they support a different team? Probably not the worst fanbase, but some people take it way too far. The thing is that 99.9999999% of fans would condemn that. Football fans have been the cause of some of the most heartwarming examples of human togetherness I have ever seen. Football is much like a religion, people love it, live for it and make pilgrimage to it. But unfortunately there are some that actually hate for it, and that is not right. Team Breezy, or whatever Chris Brown's illiterate fanbase calls itself. Team Bruzy. 21 Pilots. I'm sure their live performances are impressive, but I feel that their music is hugely overrated. It seems like you're bashing the band, not the fan base. Sorry, should have been more clear. The fan base treats the band like it's the best thing ever, and I just don't really see the appeal. Maybe it's just the vertical bar/spam I see all the time over the internet, but they just come across as annoying. Hold on, aren't you that guy that sniffed his sister's panties? Any fandom is toxic when you eventually explore the deep end. The band Slayer. Honestly, every negative metalhead stereotype usually applies to the one asshole with the Slayer shirt at every metal show. As a guy who likes Slayer, I would like to offer a one-word rebuttal to the idea that Slayer has the worst fans. Pantera. Liked what you saw? Hit like, subscribe and the bell icon for more crazy Reddit content.